It's time for Breakthrough with Coach Lew. Coming to you live from Studio 700 at Revitalize Life Fitness and Life Coaching. Coach Lew will help you break through anything that's stopping you. Are you ready to get the body, the energy, and success you deserve? With no further ado, here's Coach Lew.
Good morning, guys. It is Coach Lew. It is Monday Motivation. It is the 16th of September, 2019. We have got our eyes focused on 2020. We're going to finish this year out really strong, make it the base for 2020 so that you have all these new tools, all this new stuff to put available to you to put to work for 2020 to make it the best year ever so you can see 2020 and 2020. But the deal is here, we got a lot of work between now and then to do. My sincere belief from my heart is that you enjoy this work, you enjoy working on yourself, you enjoy the growth, because this is what it's all about. It's about stepping up. I am doing these shows, the website, the blog, everything for you to take advantage of every last little bit of this that you can. It is absolutely amazing the things that you are capable of. And it is my true hope and belief that you are absolutely using what you are capable of. So today's show is on my goodness or my badness. And this sounds like, wow, this could be really fun or this could be really touchy. So going back and rewinding a little bit, we have talked about the power of why previously. If you have not seen that video series, if you have not studied that post, please make sure you do that so that you understand where half of the equation is coming from here. So the power of why, we discovered, is what drives us by our meaning, our why. Why are we doing something? You can have all the reasons in the world. You can say, I should, and you're just shoulding all over yourself. Or you can say, I must, and follow through with something. But the power of why is why you do it. Why are you doing anything you are doing in life? You might say, well, I really need to lose weight. So why are you doing that? What is the reason you're losing weight? And you're going, well, to get skinnier. Not really. Is it for your self-confidence? Is it for somebody you love? Is it to take care of your health so that you live longer to see your children, your grandchildren at some point in life? Is it because you just want to please the damn doctor and get your blood levels, done? There's always a reason why. And the more compelling the reason why, the stronger drive that you're going to have. So go back, study the power of why, and you know what? If you have already done that and you really got an impact by it, go back with another subject and study your power of why. You may have done your power of why and, why am I going to start this business that you're in today or this new career or something? Now, maybe you want to go back and go, where can I harness my power of why to take better care of my body? Because I've started this business or I've started this, that, or the other, and now I've gained weight. And I want to take it off. Find out what's going to drive you. So go back to Power of Why, study it. Today is not all about the power of why. Today is about the word my, and what it really means. What is the meaning of my? Well, the meaning of my could be a combination of me and my why. So when you look at it that way, my is me and my why. What am I doing? What am I owning? What am I creating? How's my behavior? That's mine. And why am I doing it? Sounds like a great thing, right? Harness this power of my. This is my motivation, my day, my stuff. That is the good side. That is the goodness, my goodness. See, this is where it all depends. The biggest stopping block with the word my is a huge, and I mean huge, and watch out for this, red flag for an addiction. Whenever somebody refers to XYZ in an intense state of this is my coffee, my beer, and it gives you that concentration that is almost like life or death if I don't have it. Did you ever hear somebody say, oh, I can't get out of bed without my coffee? Or how many times people have come in to me and said, now I'm going to do this exercise program, coach, but I'm not giving up my beer. That's a sign of an addiction. It might not mean they're a total alcoholic, but it means that there's a mental addiction. People who are on hard drugs like heroin. Oh, I can't get off heroin. I'll have withdrawals. It's my disease, my addiction. They might not say it's my heroin because that's embarrassing and gross to most people to hear that, but oh, my addiction or my this. They take it in as it is a life and death. It's theirs. They own it. So the difference being, say, let's use beer and not be too drastic here. Somebody who tells me, well, I'm not going to give up my beer on Friday and Saturday night. I want to get in shape, but I'm not giving up my beer. They have a problem there. There's an addiction. It might not be a massive, life-altering every day that they're drinking morning till night, like some people that get up in the morning and drink all day long, and that is a severe addiction, and they're definitely attached to my beer, my shot, my whatever. But let's contrast. I'm not going to give up my beer on Friday night and Saturday night and my going out, and they own that. That's theirs, and that is a form of an addiction. Let's contrast that with maybe me. I'll give you a personal example. I am not big on consuming alcohol because of what we do. It counteracts, the good stuff in the body. But guess what? Occasionally I enjoy a beer. So I'm going to give you two examples. I'm not giving up my beer, or sometimes I enjoy a beer. Do you see the difference? Do you see the physiology difference there? It's very rare that I have a beer, but if I do, I enjoy it. But I don't tell people, I got to have my beer on Friday night, and I got to have my beer on Saturday night, and I got to have my beer when I get home. I might say, occasionally I may have a beer or a glass of wine with dinner. There's no addictive there. Do I use with coffee? Do I talk about my coffee sometimes? Yes, and there's a difference there in one respect. The reason it's more of an ownership of my coffee is because of the coffee that I drink. It's organic. It's made with frothed almond milk, and I have a blend of herbs and spices that I put in it. So it's kind of my creation, which is a positive. That's a good thing. But I don't sit there and say, if I can't have my coffee, my day is ruined. That's an addiction. You see where I'm going here with this? So same thing with relationships. Let's think about that. If somebody says my family, my wife, that's probably a healthy thing. I would die for my family. I would die for my wife. I would die for my kids. If it came down to it, I'd give my life to save theirs because they're mine in my heart. I love them. That's my goodness. They're mine in a positive way, as opposed to somebody in maybe a abusive relationship that thinks they own the other person. You're walking down the street and you smile at somebody. I'm a very, very, very outgoing, friendly, smiley person. And sometimes that's taken wrong, but maybe you smile or hold the door for a lady and a guy goes, why are you looking at my wife? Because I was being a gentleman, held the door open and smiled, rather than acting like I'm somewhere in the middle of Manhattan and worried you're going to get killed every second and stomping around looking at the ground or glaring at people. That type of situation, but where you see that jealousy pop up because you hold the door and smile for a lady and her husband gets angry, that's his addiction, that's his property type of mindset, and that generally goes along with an abusive type of relationship. Using these as examples, do you see the difference of I would give my life for my family, my loved ones in a heartbeat, as opposed to why'd you text my girl? She's mine. Oh, Oh, it was about having an auction. Oops, sorry, made a fool out of myself. But you understand the difference there. It's that my is my possession or my addiction is the my bad. Mine is in my loved one or my ownership of, hey, you know what, I made a mistake. That was my bad. Sorry. And fixing it and owning it or owning my success in something. You know, the show started out in January and we're still cooking, and this is awesome. So that's, my show is exciting to me. And it is kind of an addiction. In this case, it is an addiction. I can't wait to get on. I don't want to miss a Monday. But that is a positive addiction, the same as exercise becoming an addiction to you, where you go, oh, I really can't wait to get in the gym, or I really feel like shit when I don't get my workout in. But there's not a negative there. That's a positive addiction. See, not all addiction is bad. You create an addiction by wiring your mind and your mental connection to something. If you get addicted to exercise, as long as you're not in the gym, 12 hours a day, and you quit your job and you abandon your family over it, then it could be a bad addiction. But if you addict your nervous system to good stuff and positive stuff, get addicted to being an honorable, giving, caring person, get addicted to making somebody else's day better, that's okay. Getting addicted to heroin, booze, and violence is not okay. You see where I'm going with this? So it's a very fine line when we look at this, and it really is connotation of positive versus a negative outcome on even an addicted side. See, like a drug addict will feel like they got to get their fix or they're going to die. It's theirs. It's my fix. Where somebody who's beaten an addiction owns their sobriety and their new life and their strength. My strength and my faith would never allow me to go back to that. Not me personally, but I'm using that as a paraphrase, where the drug addict who, on the addicted side is, oh, I can't go without my fix or my pill or whatever it is. And I use hard stuff like heroin. Some people are addicted to pain pills. It started out because they hurt themselves, and now they can't get through a day without them. So you see the difference in addictions with a negative side, addictions like a drug addiction or an alcohol addiction or a violence addiction, as opposed to a positive addiction like exercise or an addiction to, helping and giving, unless it breaks you and you go totally broke by giving too much. But you see where the fine line is there, and also the line of ownership, as far as my owning my personality, my owning my ethics. My ethics are important to me. My family, my children, my businesses, my people, my team are important to me, as opposed to, you're my employee and that means blah, 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 or you're my spouse and that means you do everything exactly the way I say, or else you fear for your life. That's not a healthy situation. So we use drugs or other substances to put this out there because it's very black and white. I mean, a drug addiction is bad. Sorry. There's no doubt about it. An addiction to healthy, great stuff and owning, a positive you and a positive intent and everything is it's night and day. What about something that's maybe not immediate death? What about like drinking soda? It's bad. There's going to be consequences down the road and so forth. It's not doing, you any good, but I still got to have my Coke, as opposed to, sometimes I enjoy Coke, if I'm eating sushi, a couple times a year, I'll have a glass of Coke with sushi, as opposed to the person who drinks a 6-pack of Coke every day because got to have my Coke. You see the difference there again. It's all in the body language, the wording, and the meaning in the heart and brain to this person. How are they wired? Oh, if I don't have my Coca-Cola each day, something's wrong. As opposed to, you know what? Sometimes that crap tastes good once or twice a year because I don't really want to put that in my body. But it's one of those things where you see the difference. My or a shows ownership. Mine is either addiction or ownership. Addiction on the negative side, if you say my. Ownership on the positive side, if you say my and something that's positive, that you own your responsibilities, as opposed to a. I have an occasional Coke or an occasional beer, as opposed to I will have my. There's a big difference. And the key takeaway today is to really, first off, notice people's language patterns that you're dealing with, and you'll be able to see that their my's are addictive patterns or ownership patterns, and their a's or ands are the occasional, take it or leave it pattern. And you can begin to understand them at a deeper level if you know where they're coming from and deal with them accordingly, according to their beliefs and not yours. See, in an employee situation, and maybe a boss employee, if you don't understand where they're coming from and they don't understand where you're coming from, you're going to be missing the boat. Understanding where people are coming from, and this is some psychological training for you to learn how to interact with people better, not only to understand where my could be an addiction or my could be an ownership of something positive, but to also recognize that in others so you can see where they're coming from and what and how to deal with people in different scenarios. But the second and maybe even more important takeaway today is how useful would it be to be totally aware of your language patterns and understanding your root beliefs behind your my's. Food for thought, huh? What if you recognize the difference between something that you were creating an addiction pattern towards and shift that to being, okay, you know what, I am really, if I don't have my 2 o'clock cup of coffee, I can't get through the day. There's something wrong there. There's something else is going on. And it might not be the cup of coffee that's the problem. It might be you're not sleeping right at night. Maybe it is because you're drinking too much coffee too late. Or, maybe you're not energized enough. Maybe your physical body, you're sitting too much. You're not taking that energy. So there's, food for thought there to go, okay, occasionally I enjoy a cup of coffee in the afternoon. Maybe I had a rough night the night before and didn't sleep well. Or maybe I just want to enjoy it. Maybe I'm going to be studying something new this afternoon and I want that little caffeine blast to get things, to get the mind more cognizant and put a little bit of, mind blast oil in there and sit down and really focus. That could be the solution. So my whole point to this is understanding your my's. What is my addiction to exercise is not really an addiction. It's a positive attachment. But that I own that. I love exercise. But it's not oh my God, if I don't exercise today, I'm going to be totally ruined. I don't want to go too many days in a row without exercising because it's something positive. But would I want to, have my beer every night when I get home from work? Nah, that would take away from the quality of life. That's an addiction. So hopefully this has really given you some great insight into yourself, number one, but number two, as to how to have the insight into what you're dealing with your spouse, your kids, your coworkers, your employees, the person out in public that you might have a great interaction with and build a new relationship, friendship, business relationship, or you might have a conflict and you can quickly figure out, what are their language patterns. This isn't only about my today. This is a little bit about learning people's language patterns and body language, and knowing that sometimes it's the right time or the wrong time to say something, or to behave in a certain way around somebody, or reading why are they responding to me or reacting like this that's out of their normal zone of behavior. And once you get to learn this, and we get to be more understanding in reading who and what we're dealing with, the world becomes a better place, because we're not all walking around victimized and feeling, butthurt of, oh my, somebody said something that didn't sit well with me, and then you start thinking, did they really mean it that way? If you ask the question of what did they really mean if you say something, or if you hear something that doesn't sit right with you, or speak up and say, hey, I'm not comfortable with that. What exactly do you mean by that? And sometimes if somebody were to explain it, you would go, oh, I took it over here, you meant it over here. Wow, bad mistake. And in a digital world, that's even crazier, because on a text, you can't tell, what's meant. Hey, you, or hey, you. It all looks the same on text, unless you put some cute little emojis after it, but you know what I'm talking about. So learning people's language patterns, learning your own language pattern within yourself really helps to understanding your MO, theirs, and a much better interaction with the world, and also understanding when people are not enlightened yet to this, that when you hear my, ask a question. Is that an addictive my, or is that an ownership my that this person's referring to? If it's an addictive my, you might be able to ask some questions like, what makes that so much yours? Why is that my so strong for you? And, I can't tell you how many times I've heard, well, because my mom and dad drank that kind of coffee and did it 3 times a day and always had a pot of coffee on and a ashtray full of cigarettes, and then beer at night. Well, that doesn't mean that's yours. Sometimes the habits and the my's you pick up in this world are not even yours. You didn't consciously think, I'm going to, smoke cigarettes and maybe get lung cancer and drink excess alcohol and have pancreas disease and drink so much coffee that it's, lighting up my insulin production and I'm getting fat. Oh, that's a different way of viewing it than that's what mom and dad and grandma and gramps used to do. And, be responsible for your own conditioning. Be responsible for owning your own my's, and recognize them. If they're a negative addiction, crush them. Replace them. Get rid of the negative my, replace it with a positive ownership my, and it works. It's a silly 2-letter word, but it can make a huge difference in your life. So I encourage you to study up on this, learn on this, ask yourself the right questions, and by all means, if you're kind of, going in the washing machine cycle on it and going round and round and you can't figure it out, book a coaching session with me. We can do it via the internet like we're talking right now, or we can do it in person if you are here in the local Central Florida area. There's many mediums we can use to do that. We can make it happen no matter where you're at in the world, because this is important stuff. You are important. What drives you is important. It's just that simple. And, I would love to tell you that I'm the guru coach of the world, or, Tony or any of those guys are, you know what? We all have coaches too. We're human beings. This is the thing that allows us to be the good coaches. We don't think we have every answer, but what we do have, the really, really top-notch coaches, have the ability to get you to your answer. We can't always tell you, this is your problem, this is exactly what you need to do. But what we do teach is how to figure that out and make it happen within you, on your terms, in your lifestyle. Not ours. It's very easy to say, you should, you should, you should. What's not as easy but way more effective is to get you to understand what you must do. So, on that note, hang out with me, book a coaching session, go through all these posts. We have one a week for the last, I'm going on a year pretty soon, and it's going to continue and continue and continue. We do have our healthy eating and lifestyle seminar coming up on the 29th. That will be live in person here at the studio and also able to be viewed via broadcast. So you can sign up for that either way. If you're local, we do have another challenge coming up starting that day because the HEAL seminar is part of the challenge. And we got a lot of great stuff happening. So click on a button below to book a coaching session if you are ready to take it to the next level. In the meantime, live with faith, energy, passion, and always live your dreams. This is Coach Lew signing off. Have an amazing day.